Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Welcome back to the channel where it is time for my Match Week 31 predictions for the 2019-2020 Ladbrokes Premiership season. And we have a big game on Sunday. We've got the Old Firm Derby, so it should be very interesting as well. Both at the top and bottom of the Premiership as well. Games coming thick and fast for sure. Right. So before I start this video, the Scottish Football authorities have issued a wee statement, and it is concerning obviously about the coronavirus that's obviously affecting sporting games around the country. So this is what it says. The Scottish Football authorities have announced an update in their approach to addressing the implications of the coronavirus outbreak. Following the First Minister's comments regarding plans to restrict public gatherings from next week, we will enter discussions with the Scottish Government to understand the full detail of their plans and the implications for clubs and national sides. For the avoidance of all doubt, all SPFL games scheduled for this weekend will be proceeding as planned. Of course, we ask all fans, players and officials to heed the clear instructions about self-isolation for 7 days if they exhibit the symptoms of coronavirus and the vital necessity of good hand-washing hygiene. The Scottish FA has also been invited by UEFA to join a video conference call on Tuesday at which its executive committee will discuss European football's response to the outbreak with all 55 national associations and other key stakeholders. This will enable the Scottish FA to provide clear and unequivocal advice ahead of the UEFA Nations League playoff semi-final against Israel on March the 26th at Hampden Park. Once we are in possession of a definitive action plan from the Scottish Government, we will communicate contingency plans as quickly and as accurately as possible to all our stakeholders. The same applies to other Scottish FA fixtures likely to be affected by the implications of the delay period advice, such as the remaining William Hill Scottish Cup fixtures and qualifiers involving the Scotland women's national team and men's under-21s. So, games are going ahead. So, the last fixtures I did. So, obviously, we have Aberdeen Hibs. I went for a 2-1 win to Aberdeen. Finished 3-1 to Aberdeen, so quite close there. Celtic St Mirren went for a 4-0 win to Celtic. Finished 5-0 to Celtic. Hamilton Kilmarnock, I went for a 1-1 draw. It was a 1-0 win to Hamilton. Hearts Motherwell, I went for a 1-1 draw. It was 1-1 in that game. St Johnstone Livingston went for a 1-1 draw in that game. It was a 1-0 win to St Johnstone, unfortunately. And Ross County Rangers, I went for a 2-1 win to Rangers, and I finished 1-0. Obviously, we had a game last night as well. St Mirren beating Hearts by 1-0. Jonathan Abika getting the winner in that one. So Hearts remain bottom, 4 points from safety and 6 points adrift of St Mirren. So it's looking quite bleak for the Jambos, unfortunately, to say the very least. So the games we have a Friday night game. We have Motherwell against Aberdeen. And then obviously we've got the Saturday fixtures. Hibernian against St Johnstone. Kilmarnock against St Mirren. Ross County against Hamilton. Rangers against Celtic as a Sunday game. And Livingston against Hearts. So Motherwell against Aberdeen now. And the last 5 between the sides have resulted in 2 wins to Motherwell and 3 wins to Aberdeen. And the last result was a 3-0 win to Aberdeen. Motherwell getting a very good draw against Hearts of the weekend. It was a very good point because obviously, you know, they did go ahead, but they allowed Hearts to get back into it. But you know, they did have their chances. They had their chances to get a win. But you know, I mean, they're going to be in the top 6 anyway, Motherwell. So you know, pressure's off. They can basically go for that European place as well. So going to be very interesting for sure. Aberdeen, they've got a really good win against Hibernian, 3-1 in the end. Obviously they had to wait until obviously Stephen Whittaker got sent off for them to get a comeback, but it was a very good win for Aberdeen. And this is a really hard one to call because obviously it is 3rd against 4th, and it should be a very interesting game for sure. How do I see it going? I'm going to go for a draw, and I'm going to go for a very high scoring draw in this one. Motherwell 2, Aberdeen 2. I think it'll be a very good game between these sides, and I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. Hibernian against St Johnstone, a big clash. This is 6th against 8th. or 7th in the Premiership as well. And the last 5 between the sides have resulted in 2 wins to Hibs, 2 draws, and 1 win to St Johnstone. And the last result was a 2-2 draw between these sides. Hibernian obviously going down 3-1 against Aberdeen. Wasn't a very good day at the office. Obviously they did score first, but it wasn't to be. Stephen Whittaker will obviously be suspended for this game. And it is going to be a very, very interesting game, because obviously it is a really, really interesting one here, because obviously St Johnstone, they're now only 3 points behind Livingston and 2 behind Hibs. So a positive result here would be very, very good. They do need to win, because they have Celtic and Hamilton before the split. So it'll be a very, very interesting how they can do it. But they've got a decent record against Hibs, it has to be said. Especially Easter Road. They've not lost in a couple of games at Easter Road. So I'm gonna think they're gonna continue that trend, because obviously they did beat Livingston in the last game. So that was a big win for St John's, because obviously, like I said, they are now 3 points behind Livingston. So it'll be a very, very interesting game. This one, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw between Hibs and St Johnstone. I think it'll be a very, very close game. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I think it'll be a very, very interesting game, and it could be one result that St Johnstone probably will look at and think, yeah, this is probably it. This is probably it for top 6, but we shall see. We shall see if it happens or not. Kilmarnock against St Mirren now, and the last 5 between the sides have been 4 wins to Kilmarnock and 1 win to St Mirren. The last result was a 1-0 win to Kilmarnock. Obviously Kilmarnock, interesting. Going down 1-0 to Hamilton, it was, they got a penalty. They even had a man sent off as well, Hamilton, Mikael Miller, getting sent off as well. So, yeah, you can understand Kilmarnock losing it in the last minute which was a stupid penalty, because Findlay, he takes his man out and it is a penalty. So that is one thing you have to say is for that, is it was a penalty. St Mirren, obviously they lost 5-0 to Celtic, but they came back and won 1-0 against Hearts last night. Very good performance from St Mirren, actually, all over Hearts in that game. And yeah, you can probably say now that they are probably going to be safer. I think it kind of depends on how Hearts and Hamilton do now, between now and the end of the season. But you know what, St Mirren, they've done okay. And if they can keep it going, and I think they'll be safe. But as far as this game goes, I'm really going to say this: I think Kilmarnock will bounce back with a win, and they could probably go back into 7th place as well. So we'll see what happens for that. But I'm going to go for a 1-0 win to the Killie here. Ross County against Hamilton. The last 5 between the sides have resulted in 1 win to Ross County, 2 wins to Hamilton, and 2 draws. The last result was a 3-0 win to Ross County. Safe to say, Ross County were very unlucky to lose to Rangers. They had played very, very well. It was a very, very unlucky to lose that game. But it shall be very, very interesting to see how well they're going to do. I think it's really interesting, because Ross County have now been sort of dragged into it a little bit. But, I think they should. I think they'll be okay. They're sitting pretty comfortably in 9th place anyway. I think it is still between St Mirren, Hamilton, and Hearts to determine who goes down. But Ross County will definitely need like 1-2 more wins, maybe, not to be dragged into it. So, interesting game, because obviously they did lose to Rangers. Very unlucky to lose to Rangers, as I've said. So. Be interesting. But Hamilton, what's happened to them? 2 wins in a row against Rangers and Kilmarnock. Fantastic from Brian Rice's side, and they're doing everything they can to stay in this league. Whenever we think that Hamilton are doomed or gone, they always seem to get a result from somewhere, and it's the usual It's the usual trying to get safe again, and it's going to be a very, very interesting game, this one. But I'm going to go for a Ross County win, because I think Ross County, couple more wins, and I think they'll be to that safety point for me. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Ross County. So it'll be very, very interesting indeed. And now we have the biggest game of the weekend, as for sure. It is Rangers against Celtic, live at Ibrox. Looking forward to this. Obviously, the thumbnail is Rangers Celtic as well. So that'll be interesting to see. So the last 5 between the sides have resulted in 2 wins to Rangers and 3 wins to Celtic. So there's not been a draw between these sides. So very, very interesting indeed. And the last result was a 2-0 win to Celtic. Rangers, obviously, they're coming off the back of a 2-1 win over Ross County. Sorry, a 1-0 win over Ross County, sorry, I should say. Yeah, you know, they managed to get the win in the end. Ryan Kent obviously scoring the winner, which was very, very good. They did lose 3-1 to Bayer Leverkusen this evening as well, so their Europa League hopes are kind of gone. They need to score, I think it's 3 goals away. I think it's 3 goals now they have to score away in Leverkusen. So you know, I think that's probably it for them. Yeah, this is a very interesting game because obviously Celtic are coming off the back of a 5-0 win over St Mirren. They'll definitely be the more fresher team for sure. They're always really hard to call, really hard to call, but you have to back Celtic, in all honesty. Rangers' form recently has been really up and down for sure. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Celtic in this game, and then that will probably be just about enough to clinch 9 in a row for sure, because they are, is it 13 points clear at this present moment in time? Move that to 16. They're almost there. They could even have it won by the game that gets them to the split. So that's a possibility as well. So be very, very interesting as well. But that's not the only game on Sunday. We have Livingston against Hearts live on BT Sport at 3 o'clock. The last 5 between the sides have resulted in 4 draws and 1 win to Livingston. And the last result was a 0-0 draw with the sides. Livingston coming off the back of a 1-0 defeat to St Johnstone. Not a pretty game, not a very, very good game, it has to be said either. It wasn't a very, very good game of football. Disappointing to lose in the end, but they're coming back in front of their home fans, and you know, Livingston have only had 2 defeats all season at the Tony Macaroni Arena, so it's going to be a very, very interesting game, this one. Safe to say, Hearts, when you think they had been obviously buoyed by the Derby win, you would have thought that was the momentum to try and get more points. It just hasn't happened to them, and it's going to be very, very interesting for sure, because they are running out of games now. 4 points adrift of Hamilton, 6 adrift of St Mirren. It's not looking good. It's not looking good for Hearts. The last place you want to go if you're a visiting manager, if you're Daniel Stendhal, is the Tony Macaroni Arena. Livingston haven't lost at home since November to Rangers, and just ever since then, obviously, they did have 7 wins on the trot, and then obviously the Celtic getting the draw as well. So they're unbeaten in 8 games at the Tony Macaroni. So very, very interesting game for sure. But I have to back my boys. Because I think if Livingston do win, with obviously Hibs and Johnstone playing each other, I think that could just be enough to get Livingston a top 6 finish. But obviously, we'll see if the games are played next week. But I'm going to go for Livingston 2, Hearts 0. I'm going to go for a Livy win here. Should be a very interesting game, but we shall see what happens as well. So that is it. That is my Matchweek 31 predictions done and dusted for the time being. I'll go through my predictions really quickly as well. Motherwell 2, Aberdeen 2, Hibs 1, St Johnstone 1, Kilmarnock 1, St Mirren 0, Ross County 2, Hamilton 1, Rangers 1, Celtic 2, and Livingston 2, Hearts 0. So that is it. That is my Matchweek 31 done and dusted. Leave your predictions in the comment section below. And if you are going to a game, then please just stay safe. Just continue to follow the hygiene, etc. So it'll be very, very interesting as well, and yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens next week. But thank you very much for watching, and if you do like my content, then please hit that subscribe button. Also hit the notifications bell for every upload that is on this channel, and I'll see you all in the next one. And obviously we've got the big Old Firm game as well on Sunday, and then obviously Livingston Hearts on Sunday as well. So 2 live games on Sunday. You've got you're kind of spoilt for choice, so you can decide if you want to watch the Old Firm game, or you can decide to watch Livingston Hearts, which is obviously a 3 o'clock game, and yeah, 12 o'clock for the Old Firm derby. So thank you very much for watching, and hit that like button as well, and leave your predictions in the comment section below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Enjoy the football, stay safe, and I'm pretty sure we'll have some good games to discuss next week. See you all later. Bye bye.